Well, two states are in clean-up mode this morning after severe thunderstorms left tens of thousands of Queenslanders without power, while streets were flooded and roofs ripped off in Victoria. 5-centimetre hailstones and wind gusts nearing 100 kilometres per hour were reported across southeast Queensland.
In Melbourne, heavy rainfall flooded streets in the inner city and suburbs, while some locals likened the winds ripping through the city's west to a tornado. Let's bring in Molly Slattery in Brisbane and Steph Ferrier in Melbourne. Molly, where you are, lightning and giant hailstones battering the city. What sort of damage was done?
Good morning, Bridget. Well, look, you wouldn't be able to tell. It's a beautiful sunny day here in Brisbane this morning, but as you can see behind me, the damage from last night's storm was immense. Now, we've seen trees brought down like this one. That's cracked the footpath there. As you can see, it's an enormous tree. Power lines were brought down as well in this storm, and that was all thanks to that destructive wind and, of course, some massive hailstones. Now, as you mentioned, thousands of Queenslanders were left without power. At its peak, about 65,000 homes were affected. Now, we've heard that the SES were also called out plenty last night, almost 800 calls for assistance. That was mostly for leaky roofs as a result of that hail and also trees falling on properties. Now, fortunately, Queenslanders were able to stay safe last night. We've heard no reports of serious injuries, which is really great to hear. But as you can see where I am here in Graceville, this is a whole street of destruction. You know, there's fallen trees the whole way along. Just earlier, we were at the Sherwood Magpies Football Club, where trees down have pulled down the goalposts. So a lot of Queenslanders in the southeast corner today heading out and sort of assessing this damage and seeing what this storm brought to their doorsteps.
And Steph, how are things looking now in Victoria?
Well, I'm in St Close in Werribee, which is about 32 k's southwest of Melbourne CBD, and you can see that this construction portable unit has also taken a bit of a trip. The force of the wind actually pushed it all the way across the road, the portaloo resting on the ground just below it at the moment. You can see here that trees as well were all taken down. There's a huge line along this road of roofs with their tiles ripped off as well. So this was the sort of destructive path that we saw in quite an amazing straight line all the way across Melbourne's western suburbs. Now, the Bureau of Meteorology says that it's likely that it's going to be classified as a tornado. However, they still have their severe thunderstorm assessment team coming out to have a look and make sure that that's actually what the official classification can be. But one of the homeowners we spoke to just a couple of minutes drive away from here on that straight line, Diane Taylor, she was at home when all of this happened, and this is what she had to say about how frightening it actually was.
Trees outside were just bending in half. We just heard this big bang, 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 and the kids were like, "Mum, the bins are flying around the driveway." And then my husband said to my daughter, "Oh, did you leave the laundry light on?" And she says no. And they went and had a look in the laundry, and actually the manhole cover had flown up into the roof.
So there is still quite a clean-up job to continue. About 450 of the nearly 600 calls have already been cleared by the SES. At the height of this storm, there were some 25,000 people without power. That's now down to just around 1,000 customers.